let's get directly started. Hello guys, welcome back to Amazon Real Talk. In today's episode I want to share one of my biggest fails during this year, and I will tell you how I lost $8 million during 1 year. The story began back in 2021 in summer when I decided to sell my running Amazon business. It was one of the best years to sell the business. The M&A market for Amazon business was at its peak. Multipliers of 4 to 7 were the usual case, and it was really hot market. So after my trip to USA, when my account was suspended for 2 days again because of a mess in the German tax authorities, I decided so this is now the time to sell the business and give it to more experienced operators. This is what I thought back then. So first I didn't know how to start. I thought maybe approaching directly some buyers or talking to the community. I knew some sellers who sold their business. Most of the people didn't sell until then, so it was not very well known what to do next and what is the best approach. On my trip to USA, I was at a RISE conference in Orlando where I met a broker who was specialized on selling Amazon business at that time, and he suggested to me his help, that he can get me a higher valuation, more protection, and his expertise in after selling over 50 businesses. And I thought this is a good chance for me to have somebody on my side who will protect my interests against the buyers and do a successful deal with a higher valuation than I could do on my own. So we signed the contract on end of July 2021, and I expected the business to be sold during 3 months, but for sure until the end of 2021, because I didn't want to extend it too long, and it was also usual case that the business is sold within 2 or 3 months. Sneak preview in the future, the deal process ended actually in April 2022, and it took us around 8 months, the whole due diligence process and the process of selling the business. This was a big business with sales in over 10 countries. We had over 30 suppliers, over 10 agents. It was a 7-figure business and with a team of 15 people. So we had to structure the deal correctly. I hired experts for tax advice and legal advice. I had a lawyer on my side. I paid for the lawyer around 15,000 euros. I had a tax advisor for 3,000-4,000 euros. We created just for this deal a company in Emirates, and I lived even for 1.5 months in Dubai to open the company, open the bank accounts, paying all the consultants there, which also took around 20,000 euros. So we did a lot of preparation. During that time, we conducted a large-scale due diligence with the potential buyer. Our broker found a buyer, which is a big aggregator from Germany, from Berlin. They gave us the highest initial offer, and so we decided to deal with them. Yes, we just believed that it will come to a successful end. During the 8 months of the deal process, the deal stopped 3 times. And 3 times we've been short before deal end, and the buyer wanted to exit the deal. And first deal breaker was actually that the broker that prepared all the presentations, worksheets, and numbers for the buyer, that they made a huge mistake in calculations, and they thought that VAT is actually not a cost, and they didn't include it as cost, yes, which increased our SDE by 40%, and so we had a totally wrong calculation base for the multiplier and a wrong business valuation. This could actually stop the whole process, yes, but it took us 1 month to do nothing and just argue each other how to continue and what is the new valuation and how do we structure the deal now. Then after 1 month we proceed. It was already end of 2021, end of November, and the Christmas time was coming. 1 week before Christmas everything stopped, the deal was frozen again, and I didn't hear anything from the buyer until mid of January. Then in January they came back, they started a new due diligence with a new team. Now their team grew bigger, from 3 people to 8 or 9 people. And from my side, I had also 3 people from my team and me additionally included in this process. So added the tax consultant, the lawyer, and the broker with 3 people. We had all in all 17 people who were busy with this deal. At least 30% of their time or maybe 50% of their time. And the next deal breaker was when the buyer found out that our brand, which is registered in Germany, the trademark that is not registered in USA, but we have the brand registry, so we thought it's not a problem. Anyway, they told us that the business is not legally protected, we don't have the trademark, so we can't continue the deal. After back and forth for 2 weeks, they came back with an offer that they will buy the American part with multiplier of 1, which was first not acceptable for us, but then as we saw that the time is progressing and the market is getting worse, we agreed to this as well. So again, the valuation dropped. And then when we started with the last final numbers of our business and our supply chain and inventory and evaluating the cost of inventory in our different stocks, it was for the buyer not even possible to make the right calculation because their templates are actually too simple for a very simple business. A business like ours, it was not fitting in their templates. So we spent like 1 month more to teach them how to work with our samples, how to evaluate the stock, how to work with this. So long story short, spending a lot of resources, going back and forth, traveling the world, opening companies, hiring lawyers, tax advisors, not creating new products, not launching for half a year, not developing our business. And then the war started in Ukraine, and I was living in Ukraine back then. The half of my team is in Ukraine, so I was afraid that we will lose internet connection and we will lose like everything during this deal. I was happy. I was lucky to get out of Ukraine like during the first day of the war, so that I could at least continue the negotiation. I stopped in Berlin. It was already April. We decided to sign the contract on Friday. On Thursday they stopped answering me. Then I already knew that something is wrong, and the next week on Monday they told us that they leave the deal. Yes, that they don't sign. So this was the final deal breaker that never was resolved, and the reason was for the last 2 months, it was February and March in 2022, we had a negative trend like most of the sellers because a big recession and war started. And this was the reason for them to jump out of the deal. At that time my business started losing evaluation already. At the beginning, when the negotiation process started, the business was valued at around $10 million, additional for inventory 2 millions, and additional earnouts 2.5 million, so up to 15 millions in total. And then over 1 year later, right now, it's maybe 2 or 3 million of valuation because the market dropped because of the valuation inflation, the currency dropped, and the profits of most our products dropped right now. This is a story how we missed the biggest opportunity in our life to sell the business during the peak time, and right now we have a bear market in the Amazon world. The valuations is really low, so we wait for the better times, maybe next year, maybe the year after, but I'm sure that we will get even better and stronger and can get a better price in future. We just need to be more patient and stronger for the next 2 years. Thank you for tuning in, listening to my story, and I would like to see your opinions on this and your experience in the exit and M&A market on Amazon, or your questions about this. Thank you. The obstacle is the way, guys. Bye bye.